Okay, so biomechanical analysis. Right, for your running technique. We'll go to the right video first, and then hopefully in 6 weeks we can hit it again, and we can see the differences that we make. All right, we'll see how we go with your training schedule, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll try and work bottom to top, so we can keep some sort of order, so we don't jump and change throughout your body, to make it easier for you to understand what we need to work on. So if I zoom in here, okay, your feet touch the ground, it's almost flat foot, alrighty, and this is in a full flight sprint. Okay, this is about 7-8 meters into your sprint, and your feet are touching flat. They're touching like it's a flat foot. Alright, so your initial contact with the ground needs to be with its toe first. So already, this environment here, this situation there, when you're running in a sprint, is inefficient. Okay, because you're kind of storing energy, not transferring it anywhere. There's no stiff leg. That's a bent leg. Okay, when we're sprinting in a full flight, you want to be higher. Your hip line should be up here somewhere, so that you are able to have a straighter leg and then provide better production force with the ground, then come back up. Because when you bend, the bend of your ankle, your knee and your hip absorbs some of that force. That's the first point of contact. That's one of the biggest ones that I saw. When we zoom out a little bit, and we see the tracking of your hips. So as you come into so if you can go along that line of the grass and it meets the bush, so if we kind of go from there, okay, and if we can make sure that photo is straight, let's get rid of that, and let's do it again. So if we can use that as a guide, right, when you're coming into your stride and your foot hits the floor, see now it comes up, it should stay at that level. And then you come down and then your knee bends ever so slightly and then you go really below the green line. So on a sliding scale, you kind of exaggerated, this is exaggerated, you're running like this. Alright? That's very exaggerated, but just to prove the point, where your hips should be running across a straight line. Okay? And that is purely because of your bent knee at the bottom and lack of strength in your hips. Okay, and your hips meaning glutes, top of your hamstrings, your hip flexors, your adductors, all the ones next to your hip. Yeah. Okay, so we've got to strengthen those ones up. If we go further forward and we look at your arms, so coming into here, the bent arm is great. Behind you is very good. Your left arm isn't that good. Okay, as we come forward, it straightens to about there. Okay, that's even still good. It's still at a bit of an angle. Right, you can obviously see that, but we need it to make it. It needs to be that angle through the whole swing. All right, it can't be straight up. It can't be end up like that. All right, because again, you're using.
So they're actually staying at right angles.
Yeah, they have to stay at right angles the whole time. He's basically, essentially, he's wasting energy.
Yeah, I get it.
He's opening and closing, so that is taking away from your production force to the ground to push off.
Yeah, because there's only so much energy it's fine.
100%, you're definitely right. Okay, so the more energy we can save, the more efficient we can make your running style. We don't even have to build that much muscle and explosive power. You can just use it more effectively. Alright, let's zoom out. Your head's very good, nice and straight. I noticed you did the full. You'll notice in this one here, you did the sprinting thing. You're down and then 10 meters up, like that. It looks very good.
So he used to get caught out with that because he got up too quick. They used to always say he was up too fast.
Yeah, definitely. So it's good. It works. It definitely works. You can see here on the left.
We need that more horizontal force, right?
100%
as
correct.
quick as possible.
Yeah. So when you're coming in, and then now as it gets into open stride, it comes up. That's perfect. It's very good. You can see that you've worked on it a lot. So we've gone on the right side. Now we'll go 10 to the left. So front on. And this way is a little bit on where we spoke about the hips and the displacement. When we're coming forward, you'll notice your foot placement, even out of the blocks, it comes across the line. Okay, so see that one there? So your left foot comes across and hits your right hand side where your right foot took off from. If you're able to get a wider stance in your running style, even a couple of centimeters to the left and right to make them touch the ground in line with your shoulder. Right, if we can make them in line, in similar lines like this, and they're able to go right and left, and they're not able to go right and left, and they're able to stay tracking in the same line, that again saves more energy. Because what happens here is, when you come across your feet,
well, you're almost bordering on friction. You can't be getting it's a hard angle. You can't be using the strength you've got. Even
that's right.
There.
Yeah, that's right. So just purely because of the angle of what your dad's saying, it's purely because of the angle of your body that you can't be using it all. Okay, and then to make matters worse, your foot placement on the floor, once we get you in a full flight, you're basically pushing off your big toe. You're not using the four, 5 toes.
Too much pressure on the ankles, too.
So yeah, so that leads to different other residual injuries that could possibly occur. So when we come into here, we're focusing on your foot placement in there. Have a look at that there. As it comes in, you can see it's forcing.
So see it twisting that way?
And then so it's the actual toes pointing out here. Right? And then what happens is, your forward momentum, if this is not changed, you will get horrendous injuries on the inside of your ankle. Because all your force at the moment, at that point of contact with the ground, you'll see it rolls out towards the camera. Bang, there. And it comes out. Okay, as you get older and as you put on some weight muscle-wise, if we don't fix this, you'll get dislocated ankles purely by running, as an exaggerated effect. Right? It probably won't happen, but that's a major possibility. By coming down and applying that much force to the floor, bang, it rolls forward and then comes out. Now the problem with this as well is, if you don't come to the book flat, you're only pushing off one toe. You know? So therefore, the balance that you have and the production force that you have is being distributed through that big toe, and it's coming through like that. If you come through forward and come off all 5 of the balls of your feet, then you'll have that much more surface area to cover to push more off. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is it too much? Or you don't
No.
and then that just happens again with the left leg. You can see how it comes across, right, straight into your running stride. Yeah. Right. And then so it has a ripple effect. Okay. So we've identified that. If we go towards your hips, we draw. You can see. I don't have to put the line. You can see the actual shirt is on an angle, and then it changes. So now the higher angle is on this side, up here, is on there, and then once it goes to your left or hits the ground, you see how it changes?
Yeah.
So what we want to do, you go on.
Do me a favour, get him to run once straight up the hill. I'm curious to know how much
displacement
variation
it is
there because of the
hill.
ground.
Okay, well yeah, we'll do that next. I'll take it now. So if that's not correct, and there's no displacement, then we need to work on this.
No, it's going to be there. I just want to know how much, if the hill's exaggerated,
yeah.
even more.
Yeah. So we're going to make sure, so you can see how close. So if I zoom in now, your knees flick when you run. Okay, they flick when you run because the foot placement is inside the running lane. Okay, it comes across, and then bang, your knee hits that point there, and then it gets displaced, and then it's going to push through. Okay, and then what happens there is, see your knee's starting to face out there as well. It's starting to point out this way. Yeah. Okay, so you start to get residual knee effects, and then it just goes up to the top. Your hip, the joint. You can't see it from here, but your internal joint, it'll be rotated out that way. So then you'll get rotated. You get like a rotator kind of injury, where it's constantly being rotated to the wrong side. We'll go tape it now and see up and down, so there's no hill. Yeah. But yeah,
It's going to be there still.
How much of it is there? Yeah. And your arms are pretty good, right? They don't come across like some really to their belly button, but you can still see. What's a great indication here is the light pole behind your head. Yeah. Draw that line straight in the middle of your body, and then you can see how the arm comes out away from your body, the right arm, and then it comes back into the midline. Yeah. If we can get that tracking again, it's a minimal change, But if we get that tracking again next to your armpit or your shoulder, then again you're becoming that much more efficient. So you can imagine it's like building blocks, like Lego.
Yeah.
If we fix every limb inefficiency all the way up, that amounts to a big lot of energy.
Yeah.
And then we can harness that into foot placement and then providing production force for the floor to push forward. Okay? So all these little building blocks, if we get them right, you won't even have to put that much more muscle on.
Yeah.
If we get your knee height up, so your knee height on here, on this side, is pretty low. Okay, so that's at the point there, right, of the high knee height. So what we would love is your knee to be along, this line here. Okay, at the moment, it's along the red line where it shouldn't be. All right, so there's a little bit of room for movement in there. And once we fix that knee height, that'll give your feet a lot more room to move. You'll be able to come back down and run. So in this movement here, instead of lengthening your right leg and coming out till it's straight, you'll be able to hit the floor at that angle. And that's how you get the force to push forward. That's why all the short guys have that angle of foot. That's why hill running is so important, because it provides that angle already there. You're running up the hill.
Yeah.
But we're going to try and work on it here by raising your knee height and providing more room for your lower leg to come out and touch over here. So you're starting your stride from back here, and then you're lengthening it and landing it over there. The more ground you cover in each stride, the faster you get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. So go home. It's a lot of information to digest. Go over it 3 or 4 or 5 times. Hopefully we can meet next week again, and then we go through it again and again and again, and in 6 weeks there'll be a difference. All right?